Almost done sharing out. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started and kicked off as Facebook is alerting you guys that we are live. Let me know as you're tuning in by giving me that thumbs up, giving us some nice comments so I can give you the shout outs for tuning into our broadcast this morning. I'll go ahead and get us kicked off and started. I am Juliet Abdel, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with our live broadcast. Of course, today is Tuesday, so we like to highlight a small business. Generally, it is a business that's plugged into the chamber and able to accent what they've done during this time of COVID, how they've responded to it, health and safety, and other factors that they've been able to weave in. That's why we title it as a business success series and why we have a diverse type of businesses that we're able to feature. Now, before I introduce our speaker for today, I wanted to give you some kind of housekeeping that most of you have already known by now. But if you don't, make sure that you hit the like button and hit the follow on this broadcast so that you can tune in as we go live when we do on a daily basis. Also share this out with your network. So if you know somebody that is in a similar industry, is a small business that might benefit from some of the tips or suggestions that are provided today, please be sure to spread the message out to them. And if you've landed on this page for the very first time, welcome to our page. Make sure that we see you again by engaging with us on these broadcasts on a daily basis. Now, at the same time that this is being streamed on our Facebook page, we are streaming it at the Westminster Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel, where you can find it at any point in time. All the videos that we've had from March until today are available to you in the video section of this Facebook page. They're also available on our COVID resource page. And I've dropped in the link for you. That's westminsterchamber.biz/COVID-19-update. Now, most of you know that I like to engage on a higher level, and to do that, I need to know who you are, and we communicate back and forth with you through your comments and questions that you ask on this broadcast. I already see a couple of folks that are on here with us. Good morning to you, Wayne. Thank you for typing in your comment. I'm just going to paste this on here so people that are hopping on can see this and know that as you display any comments, compliments, or questions that you might have for our speaker, we'll be able to pull them up, view them, and try and address them for you today. Again, this is a higher engaging type of broadcast, and so we rely on you for those questions or comments to guide the direction of it. Now, I always have a plan whenever I bring up our live broadcast, and this was planned out because I love Sherry. Sherry has been a board director of ours in the past. She is the co-owner of Colorado Classic Exteriors, located here in Colorado. And just outside of her role in her company, she does a lot in the community. And it's because of that that I wanted to bring her on here with us, to be able to share a little bit about her company, how COVID affected them, if it did at all, and what newer things that they've brought into the mix. I'll go ahead and mute myself, Sherry, if you want to take it away. A quick shout out to Brian Dice. Thank you for hopping on here as well, too.
Thank you, Juliet. Thank you for inviting me to be here. It's really great to be connected. This seems to be our world right now, the virtual world. And Colorado Classic Exteriors, I am the co-owner. My husband and I own the business. We have been in business for over 35 years doing this. And so we have a variety of different products that we offer to people. We specialize in zero maintenance products, which hopefully is appealing to those of you out there that don't like to buy projects. So we appreciate Energy Star rated windows, thermal efficiency. Golly, we have vinyl, wood, fiberglass, composite. We have all of those things. We also do siding. We do fantastic exterior doors, beautiful entryways. We called it the grand entrance because some people like to showcase that entrance to their home. So we do beautiful fiberglass, steel, wood grain, smooth, contemporary, traditional, all those things. And we have added a product line actually 3 summers ago. This is our third year of doing zero maintenance pergolas. They are beautiful. People love to add them to their outdoor living space. They, again, are zero maintenance. They look like painted wood. So they're wood grain, but they look like painted wood, and they are just fantastic, fantastic additions to your outdoor living space. We have, this year we have done at least 3 to 4 times more than we did last year. There are communities, neighbors talk, right? So communities and neighbors go, I want what they have. And so we go over and help them with that as well. So we are just really excited about improving neighborhoods and improving homes, increasing energy efficiency, and offering products that are long-term solutions for our customers, building relationships with them for the long term. Our scope of business is a little bit different than a lot of businesses in our industry. We are a salary-based business. All of our project leads that meet with people in the home are salary-based consultants. There's no advantage for them to try and upsell you or anything like that because they're paid anyway. So they want to meet with you, ask you questions, find out what you're trying to accomplish, and giving you really good practical solutions. Everybody works with a budget, so we always want to take that into consideration. So we're there to help you and collaborate with you. It's your project, not ours. And so we're going to do everything we can to try and get a practical solution for you. We are a 5-star company on Yelp and Google. And thank you to anyone out there that's listening that has reviewed us. We know how important reviews are. We're a review society. And so it's super important that people review us and tell us what they like. And it's also important to tell us what you don't like. So all of those things are important for us to improve. On the COVID front, we were digital before digital was the thing to do. We have one of our most valued team members, leadership. She has 2 degrees in business intelligence. We are completely digital in the home. Our project leads have iPads. Our presentation is digital. We don't use a lot of paper. We don't carry a lot of hard copies of brochures and things. We can bring everything up online. And honestly, that's the most updated way to get information that we're showing you is online. Printed material gets dated very, very quickly. We know that. So our pricing is very straightforward. Everything is on pricing software. So there's no guessing, there's no games, there's no gimmicks. Everything is very straightforward. We have been able to meet with people in their homes, on their patios, on their front porches. We've been able to meet with them on Zoom. If they have preferred to have a Zoom meeting, we can do a full presentation. Again, everything we do is digital anyway. And so we're able to contact them with Zoom, set up a Zoom meeting, and we can go over all the information, do Q&A over the computer. We always like that personal interaction, but we understand everybody's dealing with us on their own comfort level. And so we want to be able to meet people on their comfort level. So pergola season's been really fun because we've actually been able to go outside on a porch or a patio or something and meet with them in the fresh air. So that's always fun. So we obviously have masks that we wear. Who knew a logoed mask would be part of our uniform, right? So now we have the logo on the shirt, the jacket, whatever, and now we have the logoed mask. So we're just meeting people where they are with their comfort level. Obviously, we carry hand sanitizers and wipes and everything. So we've met everyone on a different comfort level. And so, again, we were digital before it was the thing to do. So everything that we're doing, we can do online and in person as well. Measuring, of course, we always have to measure whatever we're doing. And so there has to be a little bit of comfort level with us being in their home for a limited amount of time so we can get accurate measurements. But wherever they want to start, we're going to meet them there. So one of the things that our business has experienced during this time, of course, we all know that March and April was a little strange. There was some trepidation out there from everybody, I think, just not knowing where this was going, what the effects were going to be. And so March and April were a little slower, and everybody was kind of trying to get their footing, I think, on it. And then the last week of April, everybody's, was working from home at that point and deciding, wow, my windows are drafty, my door's awful, it doesn't lock. It's just all this stuff started happening. And we developed online tools for people to go onto our website and enter in, build your own pergola, tell us what size you're looking for, tell us about your window project, tell us about your door project. All of those tools are meant to help people start the process without just phone calls. So our project evaluation is a really valuable tool that people can go online, fill out a bunch of information for us, and then they can set their own appointment to talk with us on the phone. So it's at a time that's best for them, not just when we have a minute to call you. So they can set a phone appointment themselves for us to contact them prior to us going out to their home. We always want to talk to people first. We always want to make sure we're a good fit. So we do things very differently here, and we do that intentionally. We are consumers as well here. And so we know what people like, what they're looking for. We want to feel important. We want our project to be important and not just something that's a side. Yeah, it's not really that important. So we always want to make their project important. So those are just some of the things that we're doing, that we've been doing, and we've just been doing them a little bit better and a little bit more frequently in the midst of COVID. We are growing. It's fantastic. We're able to hire people right now. And we're really excited about that. We're excited about being a company that can help people find work that they're excited about coming to work, and they're excited about being part of our team. We're very team oriented here. It's super important that people are part of our team, and it's not just, you've got the hierarchy and, the owners and, this, and then everybody else is just kind of off to the side. We function as a team, and everybody here, we're all about that. Team Red. Team Red is what we say. We're Team Red. So all of those things are available. We have a very good website. We have marketing tools out there. We have all kinds of ways for people to find us and get in touch with us. So anyway, that's kind of a brief overview of our company and what we're doing right now. We have been building and growing our team, and we're excited about that.
Well, I'm excited for you. I mean, some of these things that you're mentioning are it's awesome to hear, Sherry. And we've got a lot of people that have already started tuning in. I see Maylin, I also see Akram on here with us. Thank you guys for hopping on. And Brian Dice did give us a nice good morning message earlier. I know you know Brian, so he just wanted to share that note your way. And Sherry is on here with us. Sherry Lewis is the co-owner of Colorado Classic Exteriors, a business that's a family-owned business, really, because it's her and her husband that are located here in Colorado, that have a nice, robust team. She's touched on who the company is and what they do, some of their core values that they have, and then some of the things that they experienced very early on with COVID, how they quickly had to really finesse things that they already had in place, and then looking ahead what things look like for the company. I've tried my best to capture a lot of Sherry's comments into the comment section of this broadcast. So if you were just now hopping on with us, welcome and thank you for tuning in. Make sure you peruse the comment section, but if you have any comments or questions that you want to share our way so we can ask it of Sherry, please type that into the comment section at any point in time. At this point, I want to transition to some of those comments that you had made, Sherry, and I know I like to dissect everything a little bit more or one step further. So I'm going to be asking you a few questions as it relates to some of the things that you've shared with us, just to give people an idea on if they want to implement something similar, what would that look like for them? So some of the things that you shared earlier on, and first off, I hope people are gathering from you that you're customer oriented, customer first. I mean, that is the mindset that you have, is to support your customer and make sure that you deliver on what their expectation is. But then you also have this dynamic with your team members, and your team members are this cohesive unit where you guys are supporting each other. And so when you throw out those things like Team Red and some things like that, right, we laugh at it, but we laugh at it because we know that it's such an effective culture that's there, and you've cultivated this excitement to kind of work together and make sure things are getting done. I think that speaks volumes to you as a leader in your company. So earlier on, you shared if somebody's interested in doing business with you, or they're thinking about it, especially right now during COVID, they're not picking up the phone and then you're going out there and immediately having that interaction. Instead, there's kind of a step that's there where they're filling out a guided checklist or a guided form to help them really assess what their needs are. So this was something that you had before COVID, it sounds like. And if that were the case, how did you start getting people to go through that step? Or do you feel like it prevents people from doing business with you having to fill something else out?
Well, I think it's almost more important as a business to know who you aren't and who your customers are. And so people that want to work with us are people that want to have a little bit of a conversation before we show up to their doorstep. They want to find out if we're a good fit for what they're trying to do. They want to know what a budget would look like for an entry door system. Because honestly, our frame of reference for some of the products that we offer are big box stores, and those are very different than products that we offer. And so I think it's respectful as a company to have a 10-minute conversation with you about your project. You fill out a project evaluation, you submit it, set a time for us to chat about it before we show up and just throw a commissioned sales rep on your porch.
And I think that's so important that you spun that, right? Because to someone like me, I'm like, okay, you're trying to really help the customer analyze what they're wanting, which you are doing in part, but you're also self-assessing as well. Is this something that I can actually do? Or would it be something that I can meet their needs? And if it's not, then it won't be a good fit for either of us. So I think that helps prevent any negative, and why you have a great review rating of 5 stars on those Yelp and Google. So I think that works. I thought that was nice that you shared that. The staff salary component, which you shared earlier on, I thought was a unique model, because it's not something that we see a lot of times in this type of industry, where we have your staff that's going out there and they're servicing those customers or clients, generally have a sales hat component that they're always wearing. But that's not the case with you. And so I guess my question as it relates to that is, obviously there are some products that are a little bit better versus another. And so is it a matter of trying to identify what the person's need is with those products, as opposed to pushing a product at them just for the sake of selling it?
Really good question, Juliet. We are not a company that's going to sell anything somebody wants to buy. That's not who we are. As a company, a project lead will go out and do a thorough needs assessment, have them place value on how important energy efficiency is. What value do you place on a warranty? What value do you put on an installation process? As a company of 35 years, we have vetted out what we don't want attached to our name and why. And so people don't call us to find out what type of service problems we are offering today. What's our special on service problems? Nobody wants to buy those, and we certainly don't want to sell them, but they don't know that they might be buying one. So our process is very educational as well. We feel that people are empowered with knowledge, and we just want to give them facts and not what they might be reading out there that might be propaganda and marketing.
I think that's so important too. You have that uniqueness in your company as well, having a staff member that kind of was ahead of the curve. They're looking at technology, their marketing lens, the scope that they have. So they'd already had the Zoom features and things like that. Is this something that you hired the person with that skill set, or did you put your own staff through some sort of trainings along the way? And I ask this because, often whenever companies hiring or looking to bring on somebody, we have this idea that it's always better to hire a person with the right personality and the right fit for you. And then the rest of the skills they can learn, right? If you send them through a program, if they complete that certification. So I'm curious to know which of the two it was more of, or if that one was, you hired them with the skills, but the rest of the people do have some sort of training.
Well, another really good question. I think that is probably a combination of both. This individual has been with our company for, oh my gosh, probably 10, 11 years. We value business coaching. We have hired business coaches. We want people to thrive in what their best, whatever lane that they run in best, we want them in that lane. That's how we want to find out what they contribute and how their best way to contribute. And sometimes it's just, it happens organically where somebody is driven to a particular part of the business. And so this individual ended up deciding that this is really where they were geared. You've got to have somebody handling those behind the scenes analytics and what marketing is working and being able to tweak the website and being able to look at all that stuff. And honestly, it's not me. I know that's not my strength. I would possibly still be using carbon paper if it were up to me, but it's not. So I've had to go through that learning curve as well. But you have to have those people in your business because one thing we know is change is constant, and the buyer and shopping process is always evolving, and it's always very fluid. And we want to be able to meet people where they are.
And on that note, so with COVID and everything, you've changed how you're interfacing with your clients. So you shared, you're going out there, and it might be in an outdoor capacity that you're doing it with masks and hand sanitizers. Are there other precautions that you're putting in as far as the number of people that are going out there? Or do they have other PPE items that are there? Or if your employees are coming in, are you checking them and monitoring that they're healthy enough to go out on those jobs?
Well, we have an in-house rule that anybody that's not feeling well doesn't belong in contact with people, obviously. So our process is very minimalistic, I guess. Even in our office, everybody has their own space. And so when we go out and meet with somebody, it's one of our project leads with them in their home, and we ask them what their comfort level is on that phone call before we even meet with them. So we kind of know what their comfort level is already. After they decide to work with us, we go out and do a final measure. That's one person. Our process is very one-on-one. And then when we install, of course, our installers take precautions and wear masks, and we're very transparent and upfront. We have a really good communication with our clients. So we set expectations. They know what expectations are. We're on the same page before we even get started.
Yeah, before you go over there and make sure. And that's good to know, because I didn't know how many people are going out there and what does that look like, and in terms of keeping people that aren't feeling great and things like that. To that end, when people are going out there, and this might seem like a trivial question, but I'm curious because this happens a lot. I'm a hugger, Sherry. You know this. If I have met you one time, then that is all it takes.
Huggers are not okay right now. I'm just saying.
Right. And so it is killing me. It really is. I'm like, you check on your huggers. They're not doing well. But on that note, when I go and meet someone, especially right now, I'm conscious of that, right? And so I kind of step back and I see what are they most comfortable with. Is it a handshake? Is it nothing at all? Is it away from a distance? Do you have a policy that says, don't shake your hand, shake the person's hands? Or is it kind of they play it by ear when they get there based on how the client interacts with them?
Well, I think, again, it's a combination of those things. Since we don't show up to their home without already having a conversation, we already have discussed all of those things. So we ask them what their comfort level is. We ask them if they prefer that we talk outside. Obviously, weather has to, weather's going to be changing a little bit. So we are always meeting people on their comfort level. That's always our goal, because everybody's comfort level is a little bit different. And if they want us to wear gloves, we're equipped with wearing gloves. If they it's really where meeting people where they are right now.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest thing you can be doing. I see Refugio has hopped on here with us. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Sherry, you just touched on something that was actually in the back of my mind, and that was perfectly timed. We are getting to the point where it's a different season, right? Right now, it's not that bad because we've got where you're wearing a hoodie and then by 11 o'clock, you're like, I'm burning up. Let me take it off. And then evening, slightly cool. But we're going to be going into that cycle where October, later October, especially start of November, it starts getting really cold. And so that will change ultimately how you're able to communicate with them. And so have you thought about what that will look like for the number of people? If you have gone back and assessed, here's 30% wanted outdoors to be visiting with us, or this many, what have you kind of thought ahead to try and do to circumvent that?
Well, we've already talked about it, and it's not something that we haven't already addressed even since March. Again, our products are, if somebody is, for instance, is wanting windows, we are going to have to be in their home. So I think really what it is this is what this project would look like. Are you comfortable with this project looking like this? So that's really what more of it is. We're not going to force anything on anybody, but they have to have a comfort level in order for us to complete their project. And if they're not comfortable with it, it's okay. This just isn't the right season to do it.
That's a perfect answer. So here's the question that I just got from Brian Dice, and this, I think this led into it whenever we're talking about growth, right? We were talking about your company's growth, how you guys are hiring during this time, which is amazing. And I will have to loop you in on my virtual job fairs and workforce development group that I have now that I know that. But one of the things that he touches on is mainly the change that you've seen in your business operation. So where does most of your business come from? And has that shifted much during COVID?
I think, most of our business comes from online. They find us online. They look at our online reviews. They find us Uncle Google, as I call it, Yelp. They're on the World Wide Web. We get a lot of referrals. We get a lot of repeat business because people sometimes do that project in phases. Newer homes have 40 windows. So some people aren't going to do 40 windows at once. Maybe they're going to do it in groups of 10. So a lot of that. The business that we're seeing, I think the urgency has changed. Our business is the same, but people are acting with a different sense of urgency because they're home more and it's uncomfortable and they're wanting something that's more comfortable.
And that's worked in your favor, absolutely. So that's been a nice positive to some of our industries during this time. I think it's allowing people to really focus on projects that they've had, and we even see it in businesses. It's giving them an opportunity to focus on something they kind of put on the back burner, but now they have the time to do it. And so there have been some positives along the way in this process. But believe it or not, we're almost nearly to our 30-minute mark, which means that we will have to close out, unfortunately. But I just want to thank everybody that has hopped on here and tuned into the broadcast. If you have watched this and did not get a chance to ask us a question or drop a comment, please feel free to do so even after we're done being live. And if we are no longer live and you're tuning in with us, give us the hashtag replay so we know that you've tuned in, watched. We'd like to engage with you as well. And make sure you're sharing this out to the network. Sherry talked about a number of things that they've been doing in their business already, things that they've finessed, and looking ahead what they might be doing in terms of how to deal with their clients and still be, understanding of the present situation and circumstances that we're in. So I know this would be highly beneficial for a lot of businesses that may not have some similar mechanisms in place to learn from. Peer support's always great. And of course, Sherry, I appreciate you for taking 30 minutes out of your day to be here with me. I know you've had other meetings and made sure that you could fit this 30-minute widget in, and I just appreciate that tremendously. As always, you just, you hit the ball whenever I brought you on here. I was like, you're going to do awesome. You're going to talk about so many great things, and you knocked it out of the park. So thank you so much for being on here with us. Stay with me as I close the broadcast. And then we'll be back here for our live broadcast tomorrow. So I hope to see everybody that's tuned in right now or tuning in later on tomorrow's broadcast on time so that we can be sure to give you some recognition and love. Have a terrific afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.